Okay, ma'am.
May I request everyone to please stand for
Let us put ourselves in the presence of the Lord. Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us here today for this pre-bidding conference. We acknowledge your guidance and wisdom in every step of our work, especially as we discuss and evaluate matters concerning our civil works projects. Grant us clarity of mind, integrity, and fairness in our deliberations.
May every word we speak and every decision we make reflect honesty, transparency, and a genuine desire to serve the public good.
Bless all participants, the members of the Bids and Awards Committee, the technical working groups, the secretariats, and our prospective bidders. May this conference be conducted in an orderly, productive, and meaningful manner, leading to successful projects that benefit our communities. We entrust this meeting to you, Lord. Guide us in upholding righteousness and accountability in all that we do. All these we ask in your mighty name. Amen.
thank you. Let us all please be seated. In behalf of the BAC chairman, who is on official business, attending meetings in other offices, by authority also, I am to decide to conduct this procurement division. And for our attendance, may I request the secretariat to please do the call.
Thank you, McCoy. For the attendance, kindly say present when your name is called. Josephine Cachon, Emilio Narito, Grace Elena Abalan, present. Maria Fe Mano, present. Mary Noelen Martinez, present. Berlin May Leroy, Jason Lumay, Michilene Zumbilon, Maria Leia Agsoy, present. Virgo Armachero, present. Rosel Smiley Baliscoy, present. John Kervin Balyares, Charmaine Uy, present. Maria Lizelle Dolorican, present. Janamel Lupot, present. Christian Toston, present. And Maria Teresita de la Cruz and New Construction. For this pre-bidding conference, we have a total of 17 attendees, with 1 representative from our prospective bidder, 2 representatives from the Planning and Design section, 5 secretariats, 5 DPWH, and 4 out of 5 members of the Bidding and Awards Committee are present, with the presence of the BAC Vice Chair. Back to the BAC Vice Chair.
Thank you, Engineer Leia. Since quorum is achieved, we will proceed with our civil works projects pre-bidding conference. Welcome everyone. The number of projects to be discussing today is 14. First is for contract ID number 25HA0135, construction of road starting in Tagbilaran City College Road going to Bantol Street, Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. For the discussion of the details, may I request a representative from our Planning and Design section. We have Engineer Toston to discuss this matter.
Construction of roads starting in Tagbilaran City for contract ID 25HA0135, titled Construction of Road starting in Tagbilaran City College Road going to Bantol Street, Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Location, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Total contract duration of 58 days. Total ABC of 9,900,000 for the item of work. Provision of field office for the engineer and leases. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer. Project billboard and signboard. Occupational safety and health programs. Traffic management, mobilization and demobilization. surplus common excavations, structure excavation common soil, foundation fill, embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil, roadway, embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil structure, embankment from barrow common soil, subgrade preparation common material. Part B, aggregate sub-base course. For Part E, Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 0.23 meter thick 14 days. For Part F, reinforcing steel grade 40, reinforcing steel grade 60. Structural concrete 27.58 megapascal class A 28 days. Pipe culvert class 4 RCPC 910 mm diameter. Grouted riprap class A. Stone masonry. For Part G, miscellaneous structures, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, and lastly roadway light.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Tristan. Are there any comments, questions from our prospective leaders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project, 26HA0077 for the construction, upgrading, rehabilitation of drainage along national roads, Tertiary roads, Fonacier, Circumferential Road, Dauis-Panglao, S006-4PH, kilometer 20 plus 180 to kilometer 20 plus 550. To discuss details on this project, we request representative from Planning and Design Section. Still, we'll turn over the time to Engineer Tristan.
For contract number 26HA0077 titled Construction, Upgrading, Rehabilitation of Drainage along National Roads, Tertiary Roads, Fonacier, Circumferential Road, Dauis-Panglao, S00064BH, kilometer 20 plus 180 to kilometer 20 plus 550. Location, Panglao, Bohol, with a total contract duration of 95 calendar days, a total ABC of 9,148,200 pesos. For the item of works, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 3.2 month. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 3.20 month. Part B, other general requirements. Project billboard, signboard, 3 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For Part C, earthwork, removal of actual structures or obstruction, 0.28 meter thick, PCCP unreinforced, 63.7 square meter. Surplus common excavation, 18.2 cubic meter. Structure excavation common soil, 1,225.3 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 59.5 cubic meter. Pipe culverts and drain excavation common soil, 49.1 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil roadway, 1.9 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil structure, 512.9 cubic meter. For Part B, sub-base and base courses, we have aggregate sub-base course, 100.8 cubic meter. For Part E, surface courses, Portland cement concrete pavement, unreinforced, 0.28 meter thick, 14 days, with a total volume of 63.7 square meter. Part F, drainage and slope protection structures, reinforcing steel grade 40, reinforcing steel grade 40, 27.8 kilogram, reinforcing steel grade 60, 916.2 kilogram, structural concrete 27.58 megapascal class A 28 days, 6.4 cubic meter, pipe culvert class 4 RCPC 910 mm diameter, 18 linear meter, 5 line canal rectangular reinforced concrete 528 linear meter, stone masonry 4.9 cubic meter, Concrete curb precast, 370 pieces. Sidewalk, 555 square meter. For roadway lighting, we have one lump sum. And that's all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Ruston. Are there any comments, questions for this particular project from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. 26HA0078 for the construction of road leading to Bohol Island State University, Station 000 plus 000 to Station 001 plus 200, Barangay Bingag, Dauis, Bohol. Again, for the details of this project, may we request representative from Planning and Design Section. Still, Engineer Ruston, take it away.
So for project 26HA0078 titled Construction of Road Leading to Bohol Island State University, Station 000 plus 000.00 to Station 001 plus 200.00, Barangay Bingag, Dauis, Bohol. The project location is in Dauis, Bohol, with a total contract duration of 119 calendar days and a total ABC of 34,186,320 pesos. For the item of works, for Part A, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 4 months. Provision of furniture or fixtures, equipment, and appliances for the field office for the engineer, 1 lump sum. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 4 months. For Part B, other general requirements, project billboard or signboard, 3 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For Part C, earthworks, surplus common excavation, 6,397.4 cubic meter. Structure excavation, common soil, 155.2 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 3.2 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, common soil structure, 170 cubic meter. Subgrade preparation, common material, 9,739.9 square meter. For Part B, sub-base and base courses, aggregate sub-base course, 2,901.6 cubic meter. For Part E, surface courses, Portland cement concrete pavement, unreinforced, 0.23 meter thick, 14 days, 10,939.9 square meter. For Part F, drainage and slope protection structures, reinforcing steel grade 40, 290.4 kilogram. Reinforcing steel grade 60, 931.5 kilogram. Structural concrete 27.58 megapascal plus A, 28 days, 16.1 cubic meter. Stone masonry, 80 cubic meter. For Part G, miscellaneous structures, hazard markers, 450 by 600 mm, chevron signs, 15 each. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 300 square meter. And lastly, roadway lighting, 1 lump sum. That's all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Ruston. Are there any comments or questions from prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. For 26HA0079, construction of road at Manlangit Street, Station 000 plus 000 to Station 000 plus 550 at Barangay San Isidro, Tagbilaran, City, Bohol. For the details of this project, we'll again turn over the time to Engineer Ruston.
For contract ID 26HA0079 titled Construction of Road at Manlangit Street, Station 000 plus 000.00 to Station 000 plus 550.00, Barangay San Isidro, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Project location, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, with a contract duration of 93 calendar days and a total ABC of 19,007,100 pesos. For the item of works, Part A, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis, 3.1 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 3.1 months. Part B, other general requirements, project billboard or signboard, 3 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and immobilization, 1 lump sum. For Part C, earthworks, removal of actual structures or obstruction, 0.15 meter thick PCCP and reinforced, 2,138.5 square meter. Surplus common excavation, 2,460.2 cubic meter. Structure excavation common soil, 63.5 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 1.3 cubic meter. Pipe culverts and drain excavation common soil, 27.3 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil roadway, 695 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil structure, 69.5 cubic meter. Subgrade preparation common material, 4,239.2 square meter. For Part B, sub-base and base courses, aggregate sub-base course, 1,355.1 cubic meter. Now for Part E, surface courses, Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced, 0.23 meter thick, 14 days, 3,604.9 square meter. Part F, drainage and slope protection structures, reinforcing steel grade 40, 118.8 kilogram. Reinforcing steel grade 60, 381.1 kilogram. Structural concrete 27.58 megapascal, class A 28A, 6.6 cubic meter. Pipe culvert class 4 RCPC 910 mm diameter, 10 linear meter. Grouted riprap class A 117.9 cubic meter. Stone masonry 636.6 cubic meter. For Part G, miscellaneous structures, metal guardrail, metal beam including post, single, double beam, 363 linear meter. Metal beam and piece bull nose, 12 each. Hazard markers 450 by 600 mm. Chevron signs, 22 each. Refractorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 125 square meter. Refractorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, 37.5 square meter. And roadway lighting, 1 lump sum. That's all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Bustan. Are there any questions or comments about prospective bidders? Hearing none, we will proceed to the next project. For 26HA0080, construction of road, Barangay Cabawan, Barangay Carbon Road, Cabawan District. At station 0 plus 000 to station 1 plus 000 Tagbilaran City, Bohol. For the details, we'll turn over again the time to our planning and design representative, Engineer Bustan.
So for 26HA0080, for titled Construction of Road, Barangay Cabawan, Barangay Carbon Road, Cabawan District, Station 000 plus 000.00 to Station 001 plus 000.00, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Project location, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. With a contract duration of 111 calendar days and a total ABC of 28,488,600 pesos. For the item of works, Part A, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 3.7 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 3.7 months. Part B, other general requirements, project billboard or signboard, 3 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and immobilization, 1 lump sum. Part C, earthworks, removal of actual structures or obstruction, 0.15 meter thick PCCP and reinforced, 3,938.5 square meter. Surplus common excavation, 3,853.5 cubic meter. Structure excavation common soil, 120 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 2.4 cubic meter. Pipe culverts and drain excavation common soil, 27.3 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation common soil roadway 681.4 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway structure excavation common soil structure 131.2 cubic meter. Subgrade preparation common material 8,708.2 square meter. For Part B, sub-base and base courses, aggregate sub-base course 2,468.4 cubic meter. For Part E, surface courses, Portland cement concrete pavement and reinforced 0.23 meter thick 14 days, 6,349.9 square meter. For Part F, drainage and slope protection structures, reinforcing steel grade 40, 224.4 kilogram. Reinforcing steel grade 60, 719.8 kilogram. Structural concrete 27.58 megapascal. Class A 28 days 12.4 cubic meter. Pipe culvert class 4 RCPC 910 mm diameter 10 linear meter. Grouted riprap class A 120.3 cubic meter. Stone masonry 636.6 cubic meter. For Part G, miscellaneous structures, metal guardrail, metal beam, including post, single, double beam, 363 linear meter, metal beam and piece bullnose, 12 each, hazard markers, 450 by 600 mm chevron signs, 22 each, refractorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 215 square meter, reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow 105 square meter and roadway lighting 1 lump sum. That's all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Juston. Are there any comments or questions from our prospective viewers? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. 106HA0081 for the construction completion of multi-purpose building. Barangay Cogon, Tagbilaran City, with ordinance 9.65216977457066 and 123.8524773535749. For the details of this project, may we request any representative from our planning and design section to request General.
So, for contract ID number 26HA0081, project title construction completion of multi-purpose building Barangay Cogon, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, with coordinates 9.6521697745700066, 123.8524773533749. Project location, Barangay Cogon, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Contract duration of 270 days with a total APC of 49,500,000. For the scope of work for the items, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis, 9 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 9 months. For general requirements, permits and clearances, so 1 lump sum. Project billboard and signboard, 2 each. Occupation, safety and health, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have structural excavation of hard rock, 25.4 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway and structural excavation, hard rock, 8.64 cubic meter. For gravel fill, we have 0.6 cubic meter. For reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete, 3,000 psi, class A. 28 days of 8.2 cubic meter, clean concrete of 1.5 cubic meter, reinforced steel deformed grade 40 of 1,866.9 kilogram. For reinforcing steel deformed of grade 60, we have 3,860 kilogram. For formworks and false works, we have 19.4 square meter. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works, 1 lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Septic vault or tank or concrete CHB, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. Cold water lines, 1 lump sum. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings. Conduit works or conduit rough-in, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum. For painting works, we have painting works for masonry or concrete of 1,167.4 square meter. For mechanical works, we have water pumping system, 1 lump sum. Automatic fire sprinkler system, 1 lump sum. And fire alarm system of 1 lump sum. For water supply, we have water treatment plant, 1 lump sum. That is for contract ID 26HA008.
Thank you, Engineer. Are there any comments or questions from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. 26HA0082 for the completion of multi-purpose building, municipal market, and Barangay Poblacion, Bohol, and for the details of this project, let us again turn over the time to Engineer Jonathan.
For contract ID number 26HA0081, project name completion of MPB Municipal Market and Poblacion, Barangay Poblacion, Cortes, Bohol. Project location, Barangay Poblacion, Cortes, Bohol, of project duration of 210 days. We have here a total ABC of 9,900,000. For the items, we have provision of field office for engineer rental basis of 7 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 7 months. Permits and clearances, 1 lump sum. Project billboard and signboard, 2 each. Occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. Mobilization or demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have structural excavation, hard rock, 50.6 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, hard rock, 17.28 cubic meter. Embankment from borrow, common soil, 24.3 cubic meter. Gravel fill of 1.2 cubic meter. Reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete, 3,000 PSI of Class A. 28 days, we have 27.5 cubic meter. Lean concrete of 3 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel deform, grade 40 of 4,094.4 kilogram. Reinforcing steel deform of grade 60, we have 7,349.5 kilogram. Formworks and false works, we have 19.4 square meter. For masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel of 100 mm, 350 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have ceiling, 4.5 mm metal frame, fiber cement board of 448 square meter. For finishing works, we have glazed tiles and trims, 217 square meter. Unglazed tiles of 7.3 square meter. Cement plaster finish of 719.4 square meter. For miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structures accessories, 1 lump sum. Metal structure accessories turnbuckle, 8 each. Metal structure accessories cross bracing of 63.9 kilogram. Metal structure accessories steel plates of 444.6 kilogram. Structural steel trusses, we have 1,450.9 kilogram. Structural steel upper limbs, we have 722.4 kilogram. For roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessories, gauge 26 of 0.551 mm. Flashing, we have 58 linear meter. For fabricated metal roofing accessories, gauge 24, we have 0.701 mm. Gutters, 34 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets, about 0.427 mm rib tight long span, we have 183.7 square meter. For doors and windows, we have finishing hardware of 1 set. Frames, jambs, sills, heads, transoms, and mullions, 16 set. Doors, wood panel, 18.9 square meter. Aluminum framed glass door, swing type, 57.4 square meter. Aluminum glass window, sliding type, 277.2 square meter. Aluminum glass windows, awning type, 20.7 square meter. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works, 1 lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. Septic vault tank or concrete and or CHB, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. Cold water lines, 1 lump sum. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes and fittings, conduit works or conduit rough-in, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures of 1 lump sum. For painting works, we have painting works for masonry and for concrete, 1,167.4 square meter. Painting works for wood, we have 14.7 square meter. And painting works for steel, we have 503.4 square meter. That is for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Joel. Are there any comments or questions from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. 26HA0083 for the construction of multipurpose building covered court, Barangay Camyas, Barangay Cambuha, Barangay Tinabatan, Barangay Cabawan, Barangay Dauis, Barangay Lumboy, Barangay Sampuangon, and Barangay Kahayag, all of Calaki, Bohol, with Camyas having coordinates of 9.86712, 127, 629, 5585, and 123.8813587857323, at Cambuha 9.851-558-137-279-824 and 123-8888-329-6833-386. Kinabagan with coordinates 9.905801411638347 and 123.825-8688-395342. Napool 9.875689744396765 and 123-869-825-204-00536. For Lauis, 9.899-4170-723-29728 and 123-840-06708-337-213. For Lomboy, 9.889-230-2951 46248 and 123-827-05286-207-988. And Sampuangon, 9.86935-750-179-6374 and 123.9179-751145-384. And for Kahayag, 9.8920669-284-08382 and 123.832-528-99-284-095. For the details of all of these projects, we will again request Engineer Jonabel for the discussion of the items of work.
For contract ID number 26HA0083 of project name construction of multi-purpose building covered court, Barangay Camyas, Barangay Camuha, Barangay Tinabagan, Barangay Labuon, Barangay Lawis, Barangay Lumboy, Barangay Sampuangon, Barangay Kahayag, Calaki, Bohol, of coordinates for Camyas 9.8671212762955585, 123.881135878573323. For Camuha, we have 9.851-558137279-824. 123.88883296833386. For Kinabagan, we have 9.905801411638347 123-825-868839534442. For Labuon, we have 9.8756897443975 123.869826204000536. For Lawis, we have 9.899417072328728 123.840067083372213. For Lumboy, we have 8.889-230-295146248, 123.82705-286-207-988. For Sampuangon, we have 9.869357501796374, 1239179751145384. For Kahayag, we have 9.892066928240343882, 12383252899284095. Project location at Calaki, Bohol, at a contract duration of 240 days of total ABC of 29,700,000. For the items, we have provision of field office for engineer rental basis of 8 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 8 months. For permits and clearances, 1 lump sum. Project billboard and signboard 2 each. Occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have surplus common excavation, 139 cubic meter. Structural excavation hard rock, 225 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structural excavation hard rock, 107.9 cubic meter. Embankment from borrow common soil, 472.8 cubic meter. For gravel fill, we have 61.5 cubic meter. For reinforced concrete works, we have grouted riprap class A, 76 cubic meter. Structural concrete of 4,000 psi class A, 28 days, 225.8 cubic meter. Reinforcing steel to deform grade 40, 13,142.9 kilogram. Reinforcing steel deform of grade 60, we have 25,242.1 kilogram. Formworks and false works, we have 1,667.1 square meter. For termite control works, we have soil poisoning of 56.2 meters. Masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel of 100 mm. We have 298.5 square meter. CHB non-load bearing, including reinforcing steel 150 mm. We have 829.9 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have ceiling 4.5 mm metal frame. Fiber cement board, we have 496 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have 1 lump sum. For molding, we have 1 lump sum. For finishing works, we have glaze, tiles, and trims, 1,074.3 square meter. Unglazed tiles of 81.7 square meter. For cement plaster finish, we have 4,576.3 square meter. For miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structure accessories of 1 lump sum. Metal structure accessories of turnbuckle, 28 each. Metal structure accessories cross bracing of 246.3 kilogram. Metal structure accessories steel plates of 1,042.7 kilogram. Structural steel of 1 lump sum. Structural steel trusses of 6,202.3 kilogram. Structural steel of purlins, we have 3,878.7 kilogram. For railing, 1 lump sum. For roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessories gauge 26 of 0.551 mm, which are hip rolls, 37.5 linear meter. For fabricated metal roofing accessories of gauge 26 of 0.551 mm flashing, we have 32 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm, rib type long span, we have 377.1 square meter. For doors and windows, we have finishing hardware, 1 lump sum. Frames, 61 set. Doors and flush, 34.5 square meter. Doors, wood panel, 38.6 square meter. Steel doors and frames, 1 lump sum. Aluminum frame glass doors, swing type, 7.1 square meter. Jalousie window glass, 42.2 square meter. Residential casement, 97.4 square meter. Steel window of 1 lump sum. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works of 1 lump sum. Storm drainage and downspout for 1 lump sum. Septic vault or tank or concrete or CHB, 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures of 1 lump sum. Cold water lines of 1 lump sum. Catch basin of 1 lump sum. For electrical works, conduits, boxes, and fittings, conduit works, conduit rough-in, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures, 1 lump sum, and solar panel with inverter, battery, and other devices, 1 lump sum. For painting works, we have painting works masonry concrete, 5,072.3 square meter. Painting works for wood, we have 104.4 square meter, and painting works for steel is 943.6 square meters. So that is for the this project.
Thank you, Engineer Daniel. Are there any comments and questions from our respective leaders? Hearing none, we will proceed to the next project. With contract ID number 26HA0084 for the construction completion of multi-purpose building covered work Barangay Batasan, Barangay Bingag, Barangay Mukama, Barangay Kahayag, and Barangay Makaas to Cogon, Bohol, with Barangay Batasan having coordinates at 10.0531 north and 123.98737 east, Tagbilaran 9.9877 north and 123.88822 and Mukama 10.07109 north and 123.92808 east, Kahayag with 9.1846 north and 123.92878 east, Makaas 9.95586 north and 123.9953 east. For the details of these projects, we will bring over at the time to Engineer.
For contract ID number 26HA0084, we have a project name, construction completion of multi-purpose building, covered court of Barangay Batasan, Barangay Bilangan, Barangay Mukabok, Barangay Kahayag, and Barangay Makaas, Cogon, Bohol, with coordinates for Barangay Batasan 10.05831 north, 123.8987371 east. Bilang-bilangan, we have 9.98772 north, 123.88226. For Mukabok, we have 10.07109 north, 123.92808 east. For Kahayag, we have 9.91846 north, 123.92878 east. For Makaas, we have 9.95586 north, 123.99533 east. Project location to Cogon, Bohol, of project duration of 210 days with a total ABC of 9,900,000. For the items, we have provision of field office for engineers, rental basis of 7 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 7 months. Project billboard or signboard 2 each. Occupational safety and health 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization 1 lump sum. Structural excavation or hard rock 23.2 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structural excavation hard rock 14.2 cubic meter. Gravel fill of 0.8 cubic meter. For structural concrete 3000 psi class A 28 days, 12.7 cubic meter. For reinforcing steel deformed of grade 40, we have 565.5 kilogram. For reinforcing steel deformed of grade 60, we have 1395.7 kilogram. For formworks and falseworks, we have 67.8 square meter. For miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structures accessories of 1 lump sum. Metal structural accessories turnbuckle of 196 for each. Metal structural accessories cross bracing of 1,932.7 kilogram. For metal structural accessories of steel plates, we have 5,779.1 kilogram. For structural steel, 1 lump sum. For structural steel trusses, we have 23,848.4 kilogram. For structural steel purlins, we have 6,456.6 kilogram. For roofing works, we have fabricated metal roofing accessories of gauge 26. For flashing, 90 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm corrugated long span, we have 1,526.3 square meter. And for painting works, we have painting works for steel of 2,832.1 square meter. So that is for this project.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Bernal. Are there any questions or comments from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. For 26HA0085, construction of multipurpose building, Tagbilaran City College, Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City Bohol, with coordinates 9.65218000613547 and 123.872465116497774. For the details of this project, we will again turn over the line to Bingag.
For contract ID number 26HA0085 of project name construction of multipurpose building Tagbilaran City College, Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City Bohol of coordinates 9.65218000613547, 123.872465116497774. Location of Tagbilaran City Bohol of contract duration of 300 days with a total ABC of 29,700,000. For the items, we have provision of field office for the engineer rental basis of 10 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 10 months, permits and clearances 1 lump sum, project billboard or signboard 2 each, occupational safety and health 1 lump sum, mobilization and demobilization 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have structure excavation hard rocks with 709.6 cubic meter, embankment from roadway or structural excavation of hard rock, we have 107.87 cubic meter, gravel fill, we have 119.3 cubic meter. For reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete of 3,000 psi class A 28 days of 275.6 cubic meter. For structural concrete of 4,000 psi class A 28 days of 703.5 cubic meter. For lean concrete, we have 13.8 cubic meter. For reinforcing steel deformed grade 40, we have 9,360.6 kilogram. Reinforcing steel deformed of grade 60, we have 33,538 kilogram. For formworks and falseworks, we have 3,081 square meter. For masonry works, we have CHB non-load bearing, including the reinforcing steel of 100 mm of 357.9 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have ceiling of 4.5 mm metal frame fiber cement board of 1,441.8 square meter. For finishing works, we have glazed tiles and trims of 663.5 square meter. For unglazed tiles, we have 283.3 square meter. For cement plaster finish, we have 2,147.2 square meter. For miscellaneous hardwares, we have railing 1 lump sum. For doors and windows, we have finishing hardware 1 lump sum. Frames of 9 set. Doors flush 10.9 square meter. Doors for wood panel, we have 3.4 square meter. For aluminum frame glass door swing type, we have 1.9 square meter. Aluminum glass window sliding type, 36.7 square meter. Aluminum glass windows awning type, 4.3 square meter. Aluminum glass windows fixed type, 7.2 square meter. For PVC doors and frames, 5.7 square meter. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works of 1 lump sum, septic vault or tank or concrete or CHB 1 lump sum. For plumbing fixtures, 1 lump sum. Cold water lines, 1 lump sum. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings, conduit works or conduit wrap-in, 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices, 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers, 1 lump sum. Lighting fixtures of 1 lump sum. For water pumping system, we have here 1 lump sum. So that is all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Bernal. Are there any comments and questions from our prospective leaders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. Project 26HA0086, construction of multi-purpose building, Bohol International Convention Center, Panglao, Bohol. For the details of this project, again, we will turn over the line to Engineer Janabel.
For contract ID number 26HA0086 of project name Construction of MPB, Bohol International Convention Center, Panglao, Bohol. Project location, Panglao, Bohol. Contract duration of 180 calendar days with a total ABC of 19,800,000. For the items involved, we have here provision of field office for the engineer for a basis of 6 months. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 6 months. Project billboard or signboard, 2 each. Occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization of 1 lump sum. Earthworks, we have structural excavation of hard rock, 580.2 cubic meter. For embankment from roadway or structural excavation of hard rock, we have 341.51 cubic meter. For gravel fill, we have 59.7 cubic meter. For structural concrete, 3,000 psi at class A 28 days, we have 167.2 cubic meter. For structural concrete of 4,000 psi class A 28 days, we have 532.8 cubic meter. For lean concrete, we have 18.4 cubic meter. For reinforcing steel deform of grade 40, we have 56,240.4 kilogram. For reinforcing steel of deform grade 60, we have 36,649 kilogram. For formworks and false works, we have 1,027 square meter. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works, 1 lump sum. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings of conduit works or conduit rough-in of 1 lump sum. So that is for this project, 26HA0086.
Thank you, Engineer Janabel. Are there any comments and questions from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, then we'll proceed to the next project. For 26HA0087, construction of multi-purpose building in Tagbilaran City College, Phase 4, Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City, Bohol. Once again, we will turn over the line to Engineer Janabel for the details of this project.
For contract ID number 26HA0087, we have a project titled Construction of Multi-Purpose Building in Tagbilaran City College, Phase 4 of Barangay Dampas, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, with the project location of Tagbilaran City, Bohol, of contract duration of 300 calendar days, of a total ABC of 49,500,000. For the items, we have provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis of 10 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer of 10 months. For project billboard or signboard, we have 2 each. Occupational safety and health, 1 lump sum. Mobilization and demobilization of 1 lump sum. For earthworks, we have structural excavation of hard rock, 1,064.4 cubic meter. For embankment from roadway or structural excavation of hard rock, we have 158.57 cubic meter. For gravel fill, we have 179 cubic meter. For reinforced concrete works, we have structural concrete of 3,000 psi. Class A, 28 days of 551.3 cubic meter. For structural concrete of 4,000 psi, Class A, 28 days of 1,375.6 cubic meter. For lean concrete, we have 20.7 cubic meter. For reinforcing steel deform of grade 40, we have 14,040.9 kilogram. Reinforcing steel deform of grade 60, we have 50,306.9 kilogram. Formworks and false works, we have 4,621.5 square meter. For masonry works, we have CHB of non-load bearing, including the reinforcing steel of 100 mm, 357.9 square meter. For carpentry and joinery works, we have ceiling of 4.5 mm metal frame, fiber cement board of 2,162.7 square meter. For finishing works, we have glazed tiles and trims of 995.3 square meter. For unglazed tiles, we have 424.9 square meter. For cement plaster finish, we have 3,220.9 square meter. For miscellaneous hardware, we have railings, 1 lump sum. For doors and windows, we have finishing hardware of 1 lump sum. Frames of 9 set. Doors flush of 10.9 square meter. Doors wood panel 3.4 square meter. Aluminum frame glass doors frame type not 1.9 square meter. Aluminum glass windows of sliding type 36.7 square meter. Aluminum glass windows of awning type 4.3 square meter. Aluminum glass windows fixed type 7.2 square meter. PVC doors and with frames 5.7 square meter. For plumbing works, we have sewer line works 1 lump sum. Septic vault or tank concrete CHB 1 lump sum. Plumbing fixtures of 1 lump sum and cold water lines of 1 lump sum. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings of conduit works and conduit drop-in 1 lump sum. Wires and wiring devices of 1 lump sum. Panel board with main and branch breakers 1 lump sum. And lighting fixtures of 1 lump sum. For water pumping system, we have 1 lump sum. So that is all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer General. Are there any comments or questions from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next project. For 26HA0088, construction of multipurpose building, Barangay Manlangit, Bohol, with coordinates 9.609778 north and 123.77925 east. For the details of this project, we'll again give everything back to the Engineer General.
For contract ID number 26HA0088 of project name Construction of Multipurpose Building, Barangay Dauis-Panglao, Bohol, of coordinates 9.609778 north, 123.77995 east, of project location Panglao, Bohol, construction duration of 120 calendar days. We have here the items: provision of field office for the engineer rental basis 4 months, operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer 4 months, permits and clearances 1 lump sum, project billboard and or signboard for each, occupational safety and health 1 lump sum, mobilization and demobilization of 1 lump sum, masonry works CHP non-load bearing including reinforcing steel of 100 mm, 130 square meter. For finishing works, we have glazed tiles and trims, 47 square meter. Unglazed tiles, we have 7.3 square meter. For cement plaster finish, we have 260 square meter. For miscellaneous hardwares, we have metal structure accessories of 1 lump sum, metal structure accessories steel plates of 30.1 kilogram, structural steel trusses of 593.4 kilogram, structural steel purlins of 1,215 kilogram, roofing works fabricated metal roofing accessories of gauge 26, 0.551 mm flashing of 58 linear meter. For fabricated metal roofing accessories of gauge 24, 0.7011 mm gutters, 24 linear meter. For pre-painted metal sheets above 0.427 mm red type long span, we have 140 square meter. For doors and windows finishing hardware of 1 set. Frames, jam seals, heads, transoms, and mullions 8 set. Doors, wood panel 3.8 square meter. Aluminum frame glass doors wing type 15.6 square meter. Aluminum glass windows sliding type 2.1 square meter. Aluminum glass windows awning type 20.7 square meter. For electrical works, we have conduits, boxes, and fittings of conduit works, conduit rough-in of 1 lump sum, wires and wiring devices of 1 lump sum, panel board with main and branch breakers of 1 lump sum, lighting fixtures of 1 lump sum. For painting works, we have painting works for wood of 14.7 square meter and painting works for steel of 103 square meter.
Thank you, Engineer. Are there any comments or questions from our prospective bidders? Hearing none, we proceed to the next last protagonist project. 26 HA 0089 for the construction of building rehabilitation of drainage along national roads, tertiary roads, Tagbilaran City, Cogon, Cabawan Road, kilometer 3 plus 025 to kilometer 4 plus 032 and kilometer 5 plus 760 to kilometer 6 plus 000. For the details of this project, we will turn over the time to Engineer Gaston.
For contract ID 26 HA0089, titled Construction, Upgrading, Rehabilitation of Drainage along National Roads, Tertiary Roads, Tagbilaran City, Corelia, Toscatona, Palabok Road, Kilometer 3 plus 025 to Kilometer 4 plus 032, Kilometer 5 plus 760 to Kilometer 6. Project location, Tagbilaran City, Bohol, with a total contract duration of 340 calendar days, and a total ABC of 73,150,460.66 pesos. For the item of works, Part A, facilities for the engineer, provision of field office for the engineer, rental basis, 11.3 months. Provision of furnitures or fixtures, equipment, and appliances for the field office for the engineer, 1 lump sum. Operation and maintenance of field office for the engineer, 11.3 months. Other general requirements, project billboard or signboard, 3 each. Occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. Traffic management, 1 lump sum. Mobilization or demobilization, 1 lump sum. For the earthworks, individual removal of trees, 501 to 750 mm diameter small, 17 each. Individual removal of trees, 751 to 900 mm diameter small, 2 each. Removal of structures and obstruction, 1 lump sum. Removal of actual structures or obstruction, 1 each. Removal of actual structures or obstruction, 0.28 meter thick, PCCP and reinforced, 33.3 square meter. Removal of structures and obstruction, concrete, 35 cubic meter. Removal of existing road signs, 10 each. Surplus common excavation, 747 cubic meter. Structure excavation, common soil, 1,867.6 cubic meter. Foundation fill, 504.6 cubic meter. 5 culverts and drain excavation, common soil, 1,422.7 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, common soil, roadway 1,742.9 cubic meter. Embankment from roadway or structure excavation, common soil, structure, 1,280.9 cubic meter. Subgrade preparation, common material, 7,138.4 square meter. For subbase and base courses, aggregate subbase course, 784.7 cubic meter. For surface courses, Portland cement concrete pavement, unreinforced, 0.28 meter thick, 14 days, 7,463.4 square meter. For drainage and slope protection structures, reinforcing steel grade 40, 344.1 kilogram. Reinforcing steel grade 60, 82,431 kilogram. Structural concrete 27.58 megapascal plus 8.8 days, 286.5 cubic meter. Pipe culvert class 4 RCPC 910 mm diameter, 1,598 linear meter. Blind canal rectangular reinforced concrete 478 linear meter. Stone masonry, 308.7 cubic meter. Curb and gutter precast, 2,378 pieces. Sidewalk, 100 mm thick, 3,089 square meter. Kilometer post, cast in place, 1 each. Warning sign, 600 mm by 600 mm W61B. Pedestrian and school signs, pedestrian crossing ahead, 2 each. Regulatory signs, 600 mm, R68B. Miscellaneous signs, pedestrian crossing, 4 each. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings white, 420.6 square meter. Reflectorized thermoplastic pavement markings yellow, 187.8 square meter. And lastly, roadway lighting, no lump sum. And that is all for this project.
Thank you, Engineer Ruslan. Are there any comments or questions about the respective bidders? Hearing none, we'll now proceed to the next agenda. For General Appropriations Act, GAA, 2026 projects are for issuance of SARO to SARO status. The procuring entity shall not award the contracts for procuring projects until the special eloquent release order has been issued, secured, or released. Requirements of bidding documents. The contractor shall use the prescribed standard forms posted in the PhilJets and DPWH website and issued in the bid documents. The bidders are encouraged to have their bid documents neatly bound, paginated, properly sequenced, and provided with simple ear tags to facilitate examination of the bids. Each bidder shall submit one original of the technical proposal and one original of the financial proposal and clearly mark each as original technical proposal and original financial proposal. In addition, the bidder shall submit one copy of the technical proposal and the financial proposal and clearly mark them. Copy number 1, technical proposal, and copy number 1, financial proposal. Bidders shall enclose their technical documents in one sealed envelope marked technical component and the financial component in another sealed envelope marked financial component, sealing them all in an outer envelope marked bid. In the event of any discrepancy between the original and the copies, the original shall prevail. The bid shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall contain the name of the contract to be bid in capital letters, bear the name and address of the bidder in capital letters, be addressed to the procuring entities, back, bear the specific identification of this bidding process, and bear a warning: do not open before the date and time for the opening of bids. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and back members? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next agenda. The criteria and procedure for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. For the explanation of criteria for eligibility screening. To be eligible for the contract, a contractor must meet the following eligibility requirements. Letter A, Filipino citizens, sole proprietorships, cooperatives, and partnerships or organizations with at least 60% interest or outstanding capital stock belonging to citizens of the Philippines. Letter B, net financial contracting capacity, NFCC, at least equal to the ABC. Letter C, single largest completed contract, SLCC, completion of similar contract costing at least 50% of the ABC within 5 years from the date of submission and receipt of bids. Letter D, for registered with and classified by the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, PCAB, with PCAB license category depending on the approved budget for the contract ABC. For contract IDs number 25HA 0135 with ABC of 9,900,000 and contract ID number 26HA0077 with an ABC of 9,148,200. Both required license category is small b. For contract ID number 26HA0078 with ABC of 34,186,320. Required license category is medium A. For contract IDs number 26HA0079 with ABC of 19,007,100. 19,007,100 and contract ID number 26HA0080 with ABC of 28,488,600. Both required license category is small b. For contract ID number 26HA0081 with ABC of 49,500,000, required license category is medium A. And for contract ID number 26HA0082 with ABC of 9,900,000, required license category is small b. For contract IDs number 26HA0083 with ABC of 29,700,000, 26HA0084 with ABC of 9,900,000, contract ID number 26HA0085 with ABC of 29,700,000 and contract ID number 26HA0086 with ABC of 19,800,000. All four contract mentioned, their license category is small b. For contract ID number 26HA0087 with ABC of 49,500,000, required license category is medium A. For contract ID number 26HA0088 with ABC of 1,980,000, required license category is small b. For contract ID number 26HA0089 with ABC of 73,185,600, required license category is medium A. For contractors under small a and small b categories, without similar experience on the contract to be bid, may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable rates of contract cost ARCC of the registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board, Bingag. Eligibility screening will be conducted electronically in the district office by the BAC with the assistance of the Technical Working Group (DPWH) using the Civil Works Application (CWA). Explanation of criteria for examination of bids. The DPWH will use non-discretionary pass-fail criteria in the preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, and post-qualification process. If the Bids and Awards Committee determines the bidder with the lowest calculated bid passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid and shall recommend to the whole the award of contract to the said bidder. For the explanation of criteria for awarding of contracts, the award criterion for all projects will be LCRB or lowest calculated responsive bid. The bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid will be required to submit to the procuring entity within 10 calendar days from his receipt of the notice of award the following documents. Letter A, authority of signing official or board resolution with secretary's certificate. B, performance security. Letter C, construction methods. Letter D, construction schedule in the form of PERCPM diagram or precedence diagram and bar chart with escrow and cash flow. Letter E, manpower schedule. Letter F, equipment utilization schedule. Letter G, contractors all risk insurance. Letter H, latest income tax and business returns. Letter I, for a local contractor, certification under oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. Letter J, Submission of the construction safety and health program shall be in accordance with Department Order number 241, series of 2024. Department Order number 241, series of 2024, guidelines on the processing, approval, and reporting system of construction safety and health program (CSHP) for DPWH infrastructure projects. The contractor shall submit the CSHP not later than 3 calendar days from the issuance of NOLA to give time for its evaluation and approval. The head of the implementing office, upon the recommendation of the CSHP focal person, shall approve the CSHP not later than 7 calendar days from the issuance of the NOLA to the contractor. The DPWH approved CSHP is a requirement for the processing and approval of the contract agreement. Moreover, no claims by the contractor, advance payment, first progress billing shall be processed and paid without the submission of DPWH approved CSHP. The DPWH will only approve CSHPs through a form prescribed by the DOLE. If found in order, the DPWH project shall not be implemented without the approved construction safety and health program by the head of the DPWH implementing office. In case of failure, refusal, or inability of the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid to submit the required documents within the prescribed period through its own fault, the BAC will be constrained to post-disqualify the said bidder and shall initiate and complete the post-qualification process on the bidder with the second lowest calculated bid. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and BAC members? Hearing none, we will proceed to the next agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder and reminders on the submission of bids. For technical proposal, the technical proposal shall contain but not limited to the following: valid and updated Field-JIP Certificate of Registration, Platinum membership. The Field-JIP Certificate of Platinum Registration and membership must be updated with the current Class A eligibility documents covered under Section 20.2.9.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. Failure to comply results in the automatic suspension of its validity. For technical proposal shall contain but not limited to the following: PCAB license and registration in case of joint venture, statement of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. For a numbered memorandum dated May 28, 2026 of Attorney DEO Espiritu under Secretary for Support Services and Bidders, the bidders are expressly reminded of their obligation to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contracts, including DPWH, other government and private contracts, by submitting the duly accomplished statement. The bidders are also reminded that failure to submit and declare any ongoing and awarded but not yet started contract constitutes a ground for disqualification and imposition of appropriate sanctions. Still, within technical proposal, statement of bidders SLCC similar to the procurement project. The SLCC shall be supported by an owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the contractor's performance evaluation system or a similar performance and monitoring system. In case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. The bidder's formulation of net financial contracting capacity (NFCC) with his audited financial statement duly stamped received by the PIR or its authorized institutions or electronic submissions (open close parenthesis e-submission) with PIR confirmation receipts are accepted. For joint venture agreement (GVA) if applicable. Bid security in the prescribed form, amount, and validity period. The bidder may submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security in the amount equal to a percentage of the approved budget for the contract in accordance with the following amount. Acceptable forms of bill security. Form number 1, cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a bank, a minimum of 2% of the ABC. Number 2, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a bank if issued by a foreign bank. Minimum amount is 5% of ABC. Number 3, surety bond, callable on demand, issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the Insurance Commission as authorized to issue such security with a minimum amount of 5% of the ABC. For project requirements, the organizational chart for the contract and not the firm's organizational chart. The organizational chart shall reflect the key personnel assigned to the contract. Number 2, list of contractors' key personnel. Example, project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, safety officer, foreman, and first aider, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data. Also to be attached are the letter of nominee, certificate of employment, and biodata for each pledged key personnel. For the minimum work experience requirements for the key personnel are the following. For key personnel, that is the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, foreman, and safety officer. The minimum year of similar experience are 3 years. For the minimum years of total work experience for the same position is 5 years. With key personnel, that is first aider, only having 2 years of minimum year of similar experience and 2 years of total work experience. For the experience, it means the total years of civil works experience of any nature in construction and engineering works and or consultancy services. Include the tax identification number of all key personnel in their biodata. Additional requirements for the project engineer are photocopy of current and valid PRC license, proof of DPWH accreditation as PE, and include the contact number of the PE in the biodata. Additional requirements for materials engineer are DPWH accreditation certificates as ME, photocopy of current and valid PRC license, and the contact number of the material engineer in the biodata. Additional requirements for safety officer is a photocopy of the certificate of training and or completion of construction and safety health course for site safety officers. Additional requirements for first aider is a photocopy of the certificate of training. For DEO number 9 series of 2012, wherein it states among others that item 6, if a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the time of the bidding, the bidder shall submit a certification that the personnel will be pulled out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract. And number 2, he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualification as certified by the head of the implementing office. Item 7. The bidder may propose a key technical person who is not its employee, provided that the said person is required to submit a certification that he and or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. The certification under item 6 or item 7 shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. For DO number 227, series of 2024, suspension of Department Order number 148, series of 2024. In order to address the foreseen delay in the implementation of the new infrastructure projects due to unavailability of DPWH accredited project engineers who are currently assigned to contractors and consultants to ongoing projects, the implementation of the Department Order number 148 series of 2024 guidelines in accordance in the accreditation and assignment of contractors and consultants project engineers is hereby suspended until further notice. This directive to suspend the application of DEO number 148 series of 2024 shall not apply to the implementation and construction of buildings and bridges. Thus, for construction of buildings and bridges, accredited project engineers shall be assigned by contractors and/or consultants. Department Order number 43, series of 2026, interim guidelines on the utilization of construction materials prices and equipment rental rates amid fuel price volatility and its effect to project cost estimates. Section 4.2, projects already advertised. For projects that have already been advertised for procurement, the bidding process shall proceed in accordance with the existing procurement rules and procedures. In case the bidding failure due to an insufficient ABC resulting from updated or prevailing market prices, the concerned implementing office may undertake the necessary revalidation and reprogramming of the cost estimates using updated and approximate price references in section 4.1 of these guidelines, consistent with the provisions of this policy directive and other application policies of this department. For section 4.3, projects under contract perfection. For projects under contract perfection with issued resolution and/or notice of award, any increase in construction costs arising from fuel price volatility shall be addressed through price escalation. For price escalation claims during the project implementation, in accordance with the applicable provisions of the existing government procurement law and its implementing rules and regulations, as well as any other relevant guidelines issued by the department. Project requirements. Number 3, list of contractors' major construction and laboratory equipment units to be assigned to the contract supported by certificates and/or certificates of availability using the prescribed format, which are owned, leased, and/or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership and certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor and/or vendor for the duration of the project, and certifications from the vendors that the equipment units under purchase agreement shall be available for the contract. Thus, the contractor should also have a point of reference for his equipment or indicate the location for verification. The contractor shall include his laboratory equipment to replace the contract. The list of laboratory apparatus equipment should be enumerated in detail. Number 4, omnibus sworn statement in the prescribed form. Number 5, ISO 9001-2015 certification per Department Order number 110 series of 2024. Number 6, as per a numbered memorandum dated February 24, 2026, sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership shall no longer be required. In lieu thereof, the bidder shall submit his latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly filed with stamp received by the Securities and Exchange Commission applicable to entities classified under Section 82 of the IRR of RA 12009, such as corporations, partnerships, private sector organizations, foundations, and associations. The financial proposal shall contain, but not limited to the following. First, duly signed bid form. Second, bid prices in the bill of quantities. Third, detailed estimates. Fourth, summary of labor rates, unit prices, and equipment rates. And fifth, cash flow by quarter or month. Department Order number 30, series of 2025, guidelines in the preparation of programs of work and approved budget for the contract to be used by the contractors in the preparation of the unit prices. The following items shall not be subjected to OCM and profit markup. 1. Mobilization and demobilization. 2. The provision of service vehicles. 3. Permits and clearances. The following non-zero work items shall not be subjected to OCM markup First, field laboratory office and living quarters, rental bases. Next, furnishing of furniture, laboratory equipment, survey equipment, and consumables. Next, assistance to engineers. Next, photographs. Next, health and safety. Next, traffic management. Next, environmental compliance. And communication equipment and others. Percentage to be used for OCM and profit markup. From estimated direct cost of up to 5 million, the indirect cost for OCM is 15%, indirect cost for profit is 10%, with the total indirect cost for OCM and profit of 25%. For estimated direct cost of above 5 million up to 50 million, the indirect cost for OCM is 12%, profit is 8%, with a total indirect cost of 20%. For estimated direct cost of above 50 million up to 150 million, the indirect cost for OCM is 10%, and the profit is 8%, with a total indirect cost of 18%. For the estimated direct cost of about 150 million, the indirect cost for OCM is 8%, with a profit of 8% and a total indirect cost of 16%. For a numbered memorandum dated July 15, 2025, VAT component shall be 12%. Shown below are the dates of availability for the bidding documents that may be acquired by interested bidders and its corresponding applicable fee. For 25HA0135 and 26HA0077, the applicable fee is 10,000 with the date of availability on June 26 to July 15, 2026 up to 10 a.m. only. For projects with contract ID number 26HA0078, 26HA0079, 26HA0080, and 26HA0081, applicable fee is 25,000 pesos with date of availability still on June 26 up to July 15 until 10 a.m. only of 2026. For project with contract ID number 26HA0082 with applicable fee of 10,000, the date of availability of bidding documents will still be on the 26th of June up to the 15th of July 2026 until 10 a.m. only. For projects with contract ID number 26HA0083, applicable fee is 25,000. And for contract ID number 26HA0084, applicable fee is 10,000. For contract ID 26HA0085, with applicable fee of 25,000. Contract ID number 26HA0086, still applicable fee is 25,000, and so also with 26HA0087. For contract ID number 26HA0088, applicable fee is 5,000, and for project number 26HA0089, applicable fee is 50,000, and the availability of bidding documents for all of these projects is still on June 27 to July 20, 2026 until 10 a.m. only. Reminders on the submission of bids. Upon payment of the applicable fee for the bidding documents pursuant to the latest guidelines issued by the Government Procurement Policy Board, the interested bidder shall get the bidding documents from the procuring staff office DPWH Bohol, first DEO, the District Cabawan, City Bohol. Bid submission may be done manually or electronically online. However, bidders should only select one mode of submission, either manual or electronic. Similar to manual submission, the guidelines for the preparation and submission of an electronic bid are contained in the bidding documents. Bids shall be submitted by the bidder himself or his authorized liaison officer, as provided in section 54.1 of the IRR of RA 12009. Bidders shall submit their bids through the respective duly authorized representatives. To further clarify, the bidder's representative must be named in the contractor's registration certificates recorded in the DPWH Civil Works application. Otherwise, there must be a duly signed and notarized special power of attorney for sole proprietorship or board partnership joint venture resolution with secretary certificate for corporation, partnership, joint venture, and cooperative that is project specific, presented in hard copy and a soft copy thereof must also be emailed to brasilis.mary_novelin@dpwh.gov.ph using the official email of the bidder registered in the CWA for verification. Failure to send a copy of the documents mentioned above from the official CWA registered email address of the bidder shall result in the bidder not being issued an order of payment, nor being allowed to submit and/or draft bid proposals. Bids must be duly received by the BAC Secretariat for manual submission or at electronic bids_Bohol1@dpwh.gov.ph for electronic submission on the schedules. For contract IDs number 25HA0135, 26HA0077, 26HA0078, 26HA0079, 26HA0080, 26HA0081, 26HA0082. The date of bid submission will be on or before 12 noon on July 15, 2026. Date of bid opening will be on the 15th of July 2026 at 1:30 p.m. For contract IDs number 26HA0083, 26HA0084, 26HA0085, 26HA0086, 26HA0087, 26HA0088, and 26HA0089. The date of bid submission will be on or before 12 noon of July 20, 2026, with opening on July 2026 at 1:30 p.m. Late bids shall not be accepted. Bid opening shall be held at the back conference room DPWH Bohol, first DEO, the District of Bohol, and shall be live streamed through our YouTube channel. Bids will be opened in the presence of the bidder's representatives who choose to attend the opening of bids. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and back members? Hearing none, we will proceed to the next agenda, which is the common reasons for bidders' disqualification. During preliminary examination of bids, reasons are the following. Number 1, lacking documents and or requirements. Number 2, unauthorized documents. Number 3, expired legal documents such as PJEPS, certificate, pickup license, mayor's permit, and taxpayer certificate. During detailed evaluation of bids, reasons are, number 1, as calculated, evaluated amount exceeding to ABC, incomplete and or incorrect pay items on board. During post-qualification process, reasons are, pledge equipment does not meet the minimum requirements specified in the bidding documents, failure to attach proof of ownership or lease agreement or purchase of agreement, and expired accreditation of project engineer or materials engineer. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and back members? Hearing none, we will proceed to other matters. Emphasis on section 61.1 of IRR of RA 12009. Members of the BAC, its staff and personnel, Secretariat, and PWG, as well as observers, are prohibited from making or accepting any communication with any bidder regarding the evaluation of their bids until the issuance of the notice of award. However, the BAC, through its Secretariat, may ask the bidder in writing for clarification of its bid. All responses to requests for clarification shall be in writing. The DPWH Bohol 1st District Engineering Office reserves the right to reject any and all bids, declare a failure of bidding, or not award the contract at any time prior to contract award in accordance with Section 70 of RE 12009 and its IRR without thereby incurring any liability to the affected bidder or bidders. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and BAC members? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the summary proceedings, including supplemental and or bid bulletins to be issued. Interested bidders are hereby reminded to regularly monitor for the possible issuance of supplemental and or bid bulletins. Are there any questions and comments from our prospective bidders and BAC members? Hearing none, we'll proceed to the next. For further information, please refer to Engineer Mary Noeline F. Racines, Engineer 3, Procurement Head of BAC Secretariat, Procurement Staff, DPWH Bohol 1st District Engineering Office, Dauis District, Tagbilaran City, Bohol 6300, phone number 038-422-8317, local 62014, with email address at racines.marylyn_noelin@ppwh.gov.ph, and Engineer Julio Cesar G. Tadao, Engineer 3, Chief, Planning and Design Section, Chairman, Bids and Awards Committee, DPWH Bohol 1st District Engineering Office, the Dauis District, Cabawan City, Bohol 6300, still at phone number 038-422-8317, local 62021, with email address tadao.julius_cesar@ppwh.gov.ph. That ends our pre-bidding conference for today's proceedings and awards projects. Thank you and happy lunch.